Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by the following: IU Health Southern Indiana physicians, primary care and specialty care providers, now accepting new patients in Bloomington and throughout South Central Indiana. siphysicians.org. The IU School of Education, preparing teachers, scholars, and administrators to improve teaching and learning in Indiana and around the world. More at education.indiana.edu. Smithville Fiber, the Gigacity Company, fiber internet, HD, and digital IPTV in Southern Indiana. More information at smithville.com. And by WTIU members. Thank you.
Coming up on Indiana Newsdesk. Officials at a local school say they're fed up with their students and graduates dying from drug overdoses.
As a district, we didn't want to have our heads in the sand anymore and really wanted to respond in a way that really took this issue head on.
Ahead, we go inside the school and see how they're working to try to keep kids from experimenting with drugs. Lawrence County is the second county this year to shut down its needle exchange.
I worry that Lawrence County is going to be the next Scott County.
The number of refugees coming to the U.S. is down 50% because of new rules under the Trump administration. In Indiana, that means some people who fled war-torn countries don't know when, if ever, they'll get to reunite with their families. Plus, the Covered Bridge Festival we featured last week is drawing criticism because of what one of its vendors is selling. Those stories and more right now on Indiana Newsdesk.
Welcome to Indiana Newsdesk. I'm Joe Wren. Well, you're probably familiar with some of the statistics surrounding the drug epidemic. A report this summer showed more people died in 2016 from drug overdoses than in the entirety of the Vietnam War. Communities across the country are struggling to find a solution. Lindsay Wright reports from Braun County, where the school district and the sheriff's department are partnering in response to recent overdose deaths.
As Braun County High School students file into the school auditorium, they're unaware of what they're about to hear, but they quickly learn.
Meth and heroin are killers. Don't think you can just try them one time and walk away from it.
The freshmen and sophomores listen as 3 community members bluntly share how drugs have impacted their lives.
Heroin stole my son's last breath. It left a big hole inside of me. A big part of me is gone. It can never be replaced.
Barb Foley's son, Kyle, a graduate of the school district, died from an overdose in July. Samantha Taylor, a former addict, dropped out of high school when she was in 10th grade. She shared her story and didn't hold back.
So I started doing heroin at 16, and it just went on from there.
In the last few months, 2 Braun County High School graduates have overdosed and died. It sent shockwaves through the community and the hallways here where the students walk to and from class.
It's surreal to go to those funerals, to see pictures of these students who live such vibrant, lives and now, are lost.
The deaths hit close to home, and all of a sudden, there was a face to put on the statistics surrounding drug addiction. The community rallied and is calling for action.
There was a movement started that for Braun County to do something. Instead of talking about the drug problem, let's do something about it.
The school corporation and sheriff's department decided to hold what they say is a bold and honest conversation with students. But it doesn't stop there. These assemblies are just the starting point. The school district also received a grant for $10,000 to implement a new curriculum called Botvin Life Skills. It's an evidence-based program that aims to prevent drug and alcohol addiction, but it also touches on other social and emotional behaviors. The program is being rolled out for students in grades 9 through 12, but school officials hope to get funding to expand it.
The curriculum starts in the 3rd grade, so we would be able to then have that entire expanse of this curriculum in place, grades 3 through 12, which is wonderful.
Law enforcement officials say outside of the school, they're trying to ramp up treatment efforts for jail inmates. Community members don't know what to do, but they've adopted the phrase, do something. Sheriff Scott Sutherland says he thinks focusing on students is the best way to stop drug use before it starts. According to the Centers for Disease Control, this is one of the most at-risk populations. Heroin use has more than doubled in the past decade among young adults. Sutherland says he doesn't want to see another kid overdose.
And I know that's not realistic, but if we can help them, if we can increase their odds of surviving into young adulthood and getting past these few high school years, then their chances increase greatly.
Taylor says she hopes her story made an impact on even just a couple kids. The 26-year-old was recently accepted into nursing school and says she's proof it's never too late to turn things around. But she'd like to see more conversations like this one, not only just for freshmen and sophomores, but for juniors and seniors, and even junior high students.
I think getting them aware and letting them know that we're here for them is a first initial start.
Taylor says she sees herself in each and every one of the kids sitting in the auditorium. It's an emotional and often lonely time for some students. She wants them to know that she can relate and to show that her story is proof drugs aren't the answer.
So I just want to let you guys know that I love you. Every single one of you. I don't know you. I don't care. I love you. I love your life. And there's more to life than that.
For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Lindsay Wright.
Lawrence County will no longer offer a syringe exchange program. It operated for a year in Bedford, but when it came up for renewal this week, the commissioners decided to end it amid concerns that it provides illegal paraphernalia to intravenous drug users. Sarah Whitmire has more.
For the past year, the Indiana Recovery Alliance has been parking its van near the health department in Lawrence County and operating the needle exchange. Chris Abert is the head of the Recovery Alliance. He urged the commissioners to renew the program for another year.
Honestly, I was hoping to come to this meeting and ask for money to help, right? And instead I'm here asking to not stop the program. So this costs nothing for Lawrence County. In fact, it's economically distressful for our organization. We don't get anything out of this. It's more difficult to provide these services than it is to not for us, and it costs Lawrence County absolutely nothing.
One after another, people got up to voice their support for the program. One mother spoke about her son who contracted hepatitis C while in prison at the Miami Correctional Facility.
This needle exchange program needs to happen because this can happen to you, any one of you. It changes your life when your kid's in prison. It changes your life when they have a terminal disease. Everything in my house changes now.
Judge Michael Robbins spoke from experience. He told commissioners his career was spent locking people up, but that the years have shown putting people in jail is not the answer.
Does it save lives? Of course it does. Is it saving us budgetary problems? Of course it is. But the question is for each of us, what are our moral obligations to those people that each of us represent? And I believe it is to try new solutions to this confounding problem that we as a society have created.
The fear of a hepatitis C outbreak was the reason most people cited for supporting the program. It's common for IV drug users because it can be spread by sharing needles. The only person to speak in opposition to the program was Lawrence County prosecuting attorney Michelle Woodward.
Last year, when the program was initiated, I was asked to provide a letter of support, which I refused to provide. My position then and now is that I cannot and will not offer support for a program that makes it easier or facilitates illegal use of drugs.
Amen. Ultimately, a motion was not carried.
The needle exchange program is null and void for lack of say.
After the motion died, Commissioner Rodney Fish began to explain his decision not to support the program's renewal. He called it a moral decision and then began quoting a Bible verse. At that point, Chris Abert got up and walked out of the meeting.
Killing people.
Lawrence County resident Jared Stancombe works with the Indiana Recovery Alliance. He says without a syringe exchange, the county could see an increase in hepatitis C and HIV, which might have a higher cost in the long run.
I worry that Lawrence County is going to be the next Scott County. We're going to see businesses shutter. We're going to see young people like me leave. We're going to go to places where they can solve their problems and not brush them aside or put their heads in the sand.
County Commissioner Dustin Gabhart says it was a difficult decision, but ultimately his position mirrors that of his constituents.
I've had countless voters that have asked me not to allow this to happen. That's what we are here for. We are put in this office to do what's best.
For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Sarah Whitmire.
Lawrence County is the second county this year to end its needle exchange. Madison County ended its 2-year-old needle exchange program in August after officials in the central Indiana county voiced similar concerns. Now, State Attorney General Curtis Hill issued a statement yesterday praising the commissioner's decision in Lawrence County, saying the county was wise to end the practice. A legislative study committee is recommending a plan to expand public notice requirements for farmers seeking to build a CAFO, or confined animal feeding operation.
Notice should go out to individuals, not only the individual property owners, but businesses who may be impacted by the location of that facility in their area.
Glick heads the committee charged with looking into CAFOs. She says it's possible lawmakers could tweak existing regulations during next year's legislative session to diminish the environmental effects of CAFOs. Now, that's one of the chief concerns among critics who maintain the large barns that hold hundreds to thousands of animals and their manure diminish air and water quality. A little-known state representative is putting $800,000 of his own money towards his campaign for Senate. Mike Braun says his time as a private business owner and CEO of Myers Distributing has not only given him the experience to understand infrastructure, but has provided him with the money to be able to fund his campaign.
The reason you see that happening is if you're not part of the system and you're not a current federal office holder, there are so many hurdles in front of somebody coming out of the private sector and with some government experience, mine being state and local, it's stacked against you.
Braun was elected to the legislature in 2014. He also served on the Jasper School Board for 10 years. Incumbent Senator Joe Donnelly has more campaign cash on hand than all the Republicans trying to oust him from office. Donnelly has $4.6 million. Representatives Luke Messer and Todd Rokita both have about half that amount. It's not unheard for a candidate to self-fund his campaign. 9th District Republican Representative Trey Hollingsworth relied on his father's vast wealth to win his seat last year. The two Democrats who are challenging Hollingsworth released their campaign totals this week. Dan Cannon of New Albany and Liz Watson of Bloomington have each raised more than $200,000 in the first 3 months of their candidacies. A deal that allows Cook Group to avoid annexation in exchange for making annual payments to the city of Bloomington is official. The City Council voted this week in favor of the agreement. As Tyler Lake reports, the city stands to gain $1.5 million from the deal.
The agreement lays out a plan where Cook Group will pay the city $100,000 a year for 15 years. In exchange, Bloomington will exempt Cook from any future annexations the city might undertake.
This is a sensible solution to give predictability for the business and for the future, and I'm certainly fully supporting this.
Under the deal, Cook's yearly payments could go up if it doesn't meet goals for investment and employment in Monroe County. The city's had a similar agreement with Cook dating as far back as 1979. The vote comes on the heels of a judge denying a request to dismiss a case the city filed against the state of Indiana over a law that prevented an annexation attempt earlier this year. Cook Group actively lobbied to prevent that annexation. The city will receive its first payment from Cook in 2018. For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Tyler Lake.
The City Council also voted to support a tax that would help fund an expansion of the Monroe County Convention Center. The 1% food and beverage tax would be added to prepared food. That tax would go fund an additional 70,000 square feet of convention space at a projected cost of $35 million. The implementation of the tax still has to be approved by the Monroe County Council. Coming up next on Indiana Newsdesk. Fewer refugees are being accepted into the country, and for some families, that means they don't know when they'll be reunited.
I'm feeling sad and happy at the same time. I'm feeling sad because we're leaving my family and my dad and mom.
Bedford's Limestone Castle has a new owner. Coming up, a tour of the historic house. These stories and more right here on Indiana Newsdesk.
Every day, WTIU News connects Indiana and the world. We bring you the top news of the day and dig deep into the issues that affect your community the most. Find us at WTIUnews.org. No subscription required. WTIU News is where you are and telling your story.
We are a nation of explorers. We seek new ways of living, of thinking, and of expressing ourselves. We take risks, we learn from experience, and we keep moving forward. That's why we encourage and celebrate the explorer in all of us.
Welcome back to Indiana Newsdesk. President Trump recently announced he's reducing the number of refugees the U.S. will accept next year to its lowest level since at least the 1980s. The significant decrease in the number of resettlements is already causing serious financial problems for one of the organizations that helps bring refugees to the U.S. Barbara Brosier reports.
Exodus refugee immigration expected 2017 to be a record year as it geared up to bring more than 900 refugees to the state. It had plans to open a second office in Bloomington where the community mobilized to find resources to welcome families. But the expansion is on hold indefinitely because of a nearly 50% drop in the number of refugees the U.S. is admitting under President Trump.
At this point, we hope Bloomington resettlement can happen again someday. It's going to take some swings of the pendulum in the other direction to be a more welcoming country again before that happens, unfortunately.
Vargas says Exodus only welcomed 501 refugees during the 2017 federal fiscal year, which is impacting the nonprofit's bottom line. The money Exodus receives from the federal government is tied to refugees coming to the state. As a result, the agency had to lay off some staff members earlier this year.
A quick estimate, we probably are going to lose about $1.25 million this year from our operating budget, which is a significant part of our budget.
It's disheartening news for refugees like Passama al-Sha'ar and Mahama al-Zabi, who Exodus helped bring to the United States in January.
I didn't have a passport. I walked from Syria to Jordan about 3 days.
They fled the war in their native country of Syria and spent several years in Jordan before being admitted to Indiana.
I'm feeling sad and happy at the same time. I'm feeling sad because we're leaving my family and my dad and mom. And, I just become very, very far away from my country.
Al-Sha'ar is hoping her family will be able to come to the U.S. as refugees too. But it's unclear whether that will happen as Trump's travel ban remains caught up in the court system.
We hope accept more refugees because when the refugees live in outside the American of the country where the refugees live now, it's very hard.
It's unclear how many refugees Indiana could admit during the 2018 fiscal year. For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Barbara Brosier.
The ACLU of Indiana recently filed a request for summary judgment in a lawsuit which sought to prevent then-Governor Mike Pence from blocking federal funds for resettling Syrian refugees in Indiana. Relatives of at least a half dozen people who died in military service since Donald Trump became president say they never got a call from him about their loss. After Army Sergeant Jonathan M. Hunter of Columbus, Indiana died in a suicide bombing attack in Afghanistan in August, his family was told to expect a call from Trump. But the family says that call never came. His father, Mark, says the family wanted nothing more from Trump than an acknowledgement that Jonathan Hunter had made the ultimate sacrifice for his country. Park County leaders say a vendor selling what appears to be slave shackles at the Covered Bridge Festival isn't breaking any laws. A picture of the shackles is spreading widely across social media after Indiana resident Linda Wan posted an image of the shackles on Facebook. It's unclear whether the shackles are authentic or replicas.
When I actually wrote the post, I was in tears because I was just so disgusted and in shock that this is something that in 2017 someone is selling this to make a profit.
Most of the people are just amazed that it even became an issue because they understand no one's promoting racism, no one's encouraging slavery, saying that was a good thing. It's just an item from our past that someone has offered for sale.
Park County Incorporated requires every vendor to have a license to sell products at the festival. However, officials say individual private landowners can rent out their property to vendors. Attempts to reach the vendor were unsuccessful. A powerful sexual assault campaign is taking over social media sites like Facebook and Instagram. The Me Too campaign encourages women who have been victims of sexual assault to repost the phrase Me Too to bring attention to the issue. It comes in wake of sexual assault allegations by at least 30 women against Hollywood movie producer Harvey Weinstein. However, with the posts come ranging interpretations of sexual assault. Brenda Weber is the department chair for gender studies at Indiana University. She says their definition is a form of non-consensual sexualized interaction between people that involves a form of power difference and usually comes in some kind of intimidation.
But it doesn't have to go all the way to an assault, to being touched, to rape. It doesn't have to include those things in order to still be a sexually violent situation.
She says the campaign shows sexual assault isn't singular or just happening to people in Hollywood or politicians, but rather it's more pervasive.
There's practically no woman who's not experienced some form of sexualized violence at some level. And so I think it's lifting the conversation out of a very murky place into a much more pronounced conversation where we have to acknowledge what's going on.
Weber says one possible drawback of the social media campaign is the slogan.
Well, I think one potential negative effect is that it asks people to jump on a bandwagon without making clear what that bandwagon is. And so for people to say Me Too, it's not clear what it is the two relates to.
Weber says she's not sure how much lasting power this campaign will have, but she's optimistic this is only the beginning, as she suspects more women will use the power of social media to come forward with allegations and stories. The CS Norton Mansion in Bedford has a new owner. It was sold at auction this week for about $182,000, but to whom remains a question. As Miranda Fulmore reports, residents have many ideas for what they hope the new owner will do with the property.
C.S. Norton, who is a pioneer in the country's limestone industry, built the mansion in 1897. The three-story house, known as the Limestone Castle, is the biggest house on the block both now and when it was built. Before the mansion was sold this week, the auction company opened it up to prospective buyers. Some locals showed up for just an opportunity to see inside.
I would come here just the experience of being here. You can almost feel the spirits or something, through here of the ages. It's just really neat.
The mansion has 5 bedrooms and 2 staircases. There are old journals from the 1800s and music boxes of all shapes and sizes. The previous owner, Mary Haverland, bought the home in the early 1990s. She intended to open it up as a bed and breakfast. Haverland's nephew, John Zollman, says the plan never materialized, but he's optimistic the new owner will capitalize on the historical value of the property.
Well, it's hard, but on the other hand, it's a good thing because somebody will get it and give it some tender, loving care, which it needs, and move it on. That's what happens with historical properties. That's why we need to be thinking about that as we look at properties around our communities.
Zollman says before anything can happen, the mansion will need some repairs, including new exterior paint, new windows, and a bug and mice extermination. The auction company says it'll be at least 30 days before the name of the new owner is released publicly. For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Miranda Fulmore.
The National Register has specific guidelines dictating renovations for historic homes. And that's the end of this program, but our work continues online at WTIUnews.org. Have a great weekend.
Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by the following: IU Health Southern Indiana Physicians, primary care and specialty care providers, now accepting new patients in Bloomington and throughout South Central Indiana. siphysicians.org. The IU School of Education, preparing teachers, scholars, and administrators to improve teaching and learning in Indiana and around the world. More at education.indiana.edu. Smithville Fiber, the Gigacity Company, fiber internet, HD, and digital IPTV in Southern Indiana. More information at smithville.com. And by WTIU members, thank you.